unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wohl, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, Shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. 1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I am here back once again at the Loop Marketing right at the end of Lake Street. My buddy Eli lets me record here, so hey, shout out to you, Eli, for letting me record. So if you guys are in the market for marketing, yeah. Make sure to come see Eli. He knows it all, that's for sure. So today, I'm with Abby Raymond. Raymond, is that correct?
Yes, hello. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you here. So let's start at the beginning. So first of all, the reason that you're on is because I'm always very intrigued with people that, especially athletes, and things it takes to get there. So right now, what team are you on?
So I just qualified for the 2025 national team for weightlifting.
Weightlifting. Okay. We're just going to start at the beginning like that. So how does one get into weightlifting? Because it's not normally women, as I think people would think, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
How do you start?
So I've been an athlete my entire life. My dad was a Team USA wrestler, and then my mom wasn't super into athletics, but has always been super supportive of it. So pretty much when I started walking when I was a kid, I was thrown into gymnastics. I loved it. And when I was about 10, decided, I don't know if this is for me anymore. But I ended up watching the TV show American Ninja Warrior. And I was like, this looks so cool. I would love to do this and get involved with it. So my dad ended up connecting me to a CrossFit gym that was near our house. And he was a wrestling coach at the time for the local high school. It was Lake Park, because I grew up in Roselle. Mm-hmm. And one of his senior wrestlers at the time was a trainer there. So he was like, hey, you want to train Abby? And I'll pay you on the side because she's not old enough to join the adult classes, because I was only 10.
Oh, my gosh.
So he was like, sure. So I started doing CrossFit with the intention of getting stronger for American Ninja Warrior, because it's so much pull-ups and just body strength.
This is at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I'm trying to think of my 10-year-old getting ready to be on a Ninja Warrior. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I interrupt you.
No, you're good. So I started doing that. I loved it. But a big part of the CrossFit workouts was the Olympic lifts, which is snatch and clean and jerk. And I quickly fell in love with those and hated all of the cardio that came with CrossFit. I am not a runner.
Right.
So I had a really hard time with the cardio, but I really enjoyed whenever we got to do stuff with the barbell. And then the guy who was training me after about a year ended up moving to Arizona for college. So I was left without a coach. And through crazy God connections, I ended up finding out that the head coach of the Olympic team for weightlifting was located in Libertyville.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it was just a crazy connection. So my dad ended up getting in touch with him. And we ended up going to meet with him. And by that time, I was 11. almost 12, and he said he would train me in weightlifting, but no more CrossFit, no more Ninja Warrior. I just had to do weightlifting
at the same time as leading you in the right direction.
Exactly. So I said, okay. And
wow.
My dad was amazing. None of this would have been possible without him. I mean, he drove me an hour every single day to go train with his coach.
Really?
And that's how I got involved with weightlifting. Still love it today.
Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake.
Wow. Okay, so as a little girl, I'm sure you weren't like, I'm going to grow up to be a weightlifter.
No. No, not at all.
But with the influence of your father, it sounds like your father is extremely dedicated to be at the level that he was, doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so you start weightlifting.
Yes.
And then when does it come like real? You're not training. Like, do you remember like your first competition?
Yes, I do. I was 13, and it was my first national competition, I was 13. Leading up to that, I had a couple local meets, which qualified me for my first national meet. But my first nationals, it was in Austin, Texas, and I ended up having great first, big competition. I ended up winning nationals. I broke 2 American records, and I ended up being invited to the Olympic Training Center after that meet.
No way!
So that was really exciting, and pretty much at that point, I was like, whoa! This is legit. Maybe I can actually do something with this.
Wow. Okay, so then do you go there?
Yes, so I went to the Olympic Training Center for a training camp, and that was, I believe, the last year that weightlifting was a resident sport at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
They switch sports, which sports are housed there.
Gotcha.
Frequently. So I think that was the last year weightlifting was a resident sport. But yeah, I'm grateful I was able to go. Since then, I've had a few different opportunities to go to training camps there, but that was my first one. And I think I was one of the youngest people there because I was 13.
Wow. So was it one of your dreams to try to get to the Olympics? I mean, obviously, is that the pinnacle of everything?
Yeah, I mean, that's the highest level you can get in sports.
And competition-wise, to get there has to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 2028, they haven't even come out with the qualification procedures yet, and how many competitions you need to go to, which competitions are going to be qualifiers. So all the athletes are still waiting to hear about how it can even be possible to qualify for 28.
That's really exciting. And so is that still because I'm not sure with weightlifting, so excuse me if I'm naive about a lot of this stuff. So with that, is that an age limit, especially with women's weightlifting? Is there a certain period of time age-wise that you need to fit in for that?
Not necessarily. There's not if you turn 27, you're no longer eligible.
Okay.
But typically in weightlifting, females peak between 24 and 28.
How old are you?
I just turned 22.
Okay, so you haven't peaked yet. Yeah, you can peak
I got some time.
Good. Well, that's really exciting. So that is a dream of yours to do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Were there any points? I love that when you talk about being training and you're in Libertyville and you're all this and you do your first national thing and you break records. I'm sure there's points you get out there and realize that sometimes you're the big fish in the small pond, but then you go out to meet all these other women that are out there. I'm sure that had to be eye-opening as well, right? The competition's crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many incredible athletes in weightlifting, and weightlifting is one of those sports. I mean, I guess all sports are, but you have off days a lot. Yeah. And when you have an off day when you're competing, it's really unfortunate because you work so hard for those 6 lifts. And then if one of those 6 lifts doesn't go according to plan, then it kind of ruins your chances for what you were aiming for at the start of that competition.
Right. And how far are those competitions apart?
It depends. They have them all throughout the year, whether it's local, national, international, but you need to qualify for each of them. So it kind of just depends on what your individual goals are.
Right. No, that's super fun. Okay, so then growing up too, like, so you're a young lady doing this weightlifting. Were you doing any other sports? Did you wrestle? Did you do anything like that?
Well, so I grew up doing gymnastics, and then I messed around with soccer for a little bit too. Yeah. I was really bad at soccer.
Really?
Honestly, I was just good at like running into the goalie.
Right.
Not.
It's just fine. It's part of the sport.
Yeah. So I did do soccer. Wasn't great at it. Didn't really love it. And then CrossFit is what got me into weightlifting. So that's what I've been doing since I was 12.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
This is Bob Churchill. I know you are always there for your family, caring for your children, your spouse, and even your parents. But in critical times, will you be able to make decisions that assure the best result for your family? A power of attorney may be necessary if on behalf of a loved one you need to talk to a doctor, a bank, or the college infirmary. A power of attorney may sound daunting, but the lawyers at Churchill, Quinn, Hamilton, and Van Doncelar can easily create this document for you. We are right here in Grayslake, supporting the community for over 122 years. Reach out to us at grayslakelaw.com or call us at 847-223-1500. Whether you need a power of attorney, a will, or legal help with your business, we'll take care of you so you can care for others. Go to grayslakelaw.com today for more information. Have a wonderful day, and now back to the program.
Wow. Okay, so being a 12-year-old girl and doing the weightlifting, how did your peers and other kids around you, were they cool with that?
I wish.
Yeah.
So after I had my big first win at my nationals when I was 13, that was the summer before I started my 7th grade year of school. And I went into that school year thinking everyone was going to want to be my friend. They would all be so excited and proud of me for what I had accomplished over that summer. And the complete opposite ended up happening. In my entire 7th grade year, I ended up being pretty badly bullied. I was stereotyped. I had rumors spread about me. So, yeah, it was at the time, but I would not be the person I am today if I hadn't gone through that. So looking back, I can confidently say I'm really grateful for all of those challenges, but at the time it seemed like it was the end of the world, which I know for a lot of kids today, when they're being bullied, it seems like it's the end of the world and that they're never going to be able to come out of it.
Right, and that, and I know that that very near and dear to my heart is the whole bullying thing and how to get kids to accept people for who they are and they're different. And a lot of times I think that comes out of their own insecurities. Like, you're accomplishing wonderful things there, and who knows if that's out of jealousy or just because it's different, right? Because everybody's different.
To this day, I don't know.
Yeah. So how did those experiences lead you into doing some other things you're doing? I know we were talking about, I want to talk about some people that you're sponsored by and also about some of the good things that you're giving back to community.
Yeah, so ultimately, by the end of that school year, I was incredibly depressed. I had no clue who I was. My entire identity was rooted in the opinions of other people, and I was never able to measure up. No matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did, all I cared about at that time was wanting them to like me and accept me.
Yeah.
So when they didn't, for me trying to be myself or trying to cater to what they wanted me to be, and it still fell flat, I was left in this really sad place mentally where I had no clue who I was or what I wanted to be. And over that summer, once that school year ended, I ended up being invited to a game night at a church nearby by a girl I used to play soccer with. And it had been a while since we had spoken, and we had really never done anything together outside of soccer. But out of the blue, she invited me to this game night at her church, and I ended up going, and that night changed my life.
Really?
I ended up encountering the love of Jesus, and it showed me that my identity is not rooted in the opinions of other people. It was rooted in something so much bigger, and my faith is what ended up keeping me grounded and what taught me that it doesn't matter what other people say about me, because I'm already accepted by Jesus, and he loves me just how I am, and he made me the way I am with the talents and gifts that he's given me. And other people aren't going to like that, but that's okay.
Yeah, so what a turning point in your life being invited to game night.
I know.
Right? Do you still know the girl?
I do, yeah.
Do you? Are you still good friends?
We are, yeah.
That's really awesome. So that changed everything, and I think, even a lot of people listening right now, whether they went through that as a child, like some people don't have that invite, the game night invite, to get through things. So I think that there's a lot of different avenues that people go to, whether they just are, because it carries over to adulthood, right? Without those moments of your life, who knows where you'd be now? You could have lost your confidence, you could lose anything, right?
Yeah, you definitely. But I think that the amazing thing about finding your identity is that it's helpful when there's an invite, but you don't need the invite. Jesus is already inviting you into his heart, and it's just about accepting and saying okay. And I think that we can all take a step to invite people around us if we know that people are struggling, or even if we don't, but just being kind to them, smiling at them, giving them a compliment. We don't lose anything by being kind or going out of our way to show somebody love, no matter what they're going through. If you think they're having a good day, they actually might not be.
Yeah. We talk at the end of the show every time that I try to leave everybody with, to do a couple random acts of kindness, because we really don't know what people are going through. And even when we talk about bullying stuff, like my daughter being bullied or anything like happened, that carries over to the whole family, right? The whole family dynamic on how everybody's like, but a lot of people walk around like there's nothing going on, right?
Yeah.
And just a couple of people being nice or inviting somebody, even a smile or words of encouragement to maybe somebody to the kid or the person that we meet that might be, air quotes, different, right? And accepting them into things, I think, is something we all need to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how do you learn the skills that were and the gifts that were given to you, those gifts of doing that? We talked about, let's talk about one of the sponsors that you have, the one that we were talking about.
So one of the organizations I partner with is called True Sport, and I love True Sport. They are an incredible organization. They are partnered with the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. They're based in Colorado Springs, and True Sport partners with different athletes to represent different values that they have. And some of the True Sport values are bullying prevention, leadership, teamwork, conflict resolution strategies, accountability, things like that. So their main mission is to educate both athletes, parents, and coaches on these different values to help them create healthy sport dynamics within their teams, within their homes, within their schools. So they have these different athletes come out to various events, whether it's sports camps, schools, middle schools, high schools, and speak on these different values and interact with the kids, play games with them, hang out. So I've had the opportunity to be a part of True Sport since I was 17.
Wow.
So over the years, I've gotten to go to some pretty awesome events and hang out with different athletes, and it's been so much fun. It has brought me so much joy, where I've just been able to share about my life experiences, athletic experiences, and hopefully encourage them with some of the lessons that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. How are you received by the kids there? I bet it's got to be a really cool experience.
I think it's well. I hope that they like me. I like all of them. I've never been to a True Sport event where I've been like, I don't want to be here anymore, or I don't think that went very well. I feel like all of it, it's so just authentic and it's not staged, where, I mean, we get to go and interact with them. It's not just like us standing off on a distance, speaking on a stage, and then never talking to the kids. It's the opposite. It's us. If they're playing basketball, we get right in there with them and play basketball with them.
Sure.
And we talk to them on the sides. And we do give, like, bigger presentation speeches, but there's always opportunities for Q&A and then talking to the kids afterwards. So it's very interactive, very, like, personable.
Yeah.
So it's like you're making genuine connections.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, actually, before too long, to say, because we have some things coming up, then I would love you to be a part of it, to help out, especially in our town. Because I think that a lot of kids would find you a lot more relatable than an old man like me. I'm sure that, to have somebody cool coming in to talk to them. And I think half of the things with these kids, too, is knowing that, other people have gone through it. Because generally with bullying stuff, I think people feel alone, right?
Yeah, you do. You feel like nobody understands. You feel like nobody likes you. And I've been there. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
67. Tuesday nights have just leveled up. It's bingo night at the new Black Lung Brewery right here in Grayslake. And you can get a half-price appetizer. But you have to mention this podcast. So grab your friends, with their consent, order a local pour, and get ready for laughs, prizes, and flavor. Bingo kicks off Tuesday nights at 7:30 in the brand new tap room at 2 South Lake Street. Great food, great beer, and a community that is second to none. Black Lung Brewery, Grayslake, bingo night, and a half-price app. But you have to mention the Discovering Grayslake podcast. Drink local, live loud.
Okay, let's talk about, I sometimes call them like God winks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to tell our listeners, like, how do you end up in Grayslake? And how do you find a place to live here?
That is an amazing story.
Let's hear it. Don't leave out any details, because I think it's fantastic.
Okay, so I was 18 at the time when I started searching for a place to live out here. The reason being was because my coach was in Libertyville, and so I was looking just kind of in Grayslake, Libertyville, like just the whole Lake County area. And I wanted to move up here because my parents, they're both teachers. Well, I guess they were both teachers. They're retired now, but they were moving to Florida. And that was not a surprise to me at the time. They'd been talking about how they couldn't wait to move to Florida for years.
You have smart parents.
So when they started talking about how they were going to make that happen pretty soon, and they started talking about putting their house up on the market, I was like, well, I can't leave here. I got to figure something out for me.
Right.
And being a full-time athlete doesn't pay very well. So I knew I couldn't afford to live completely on my own, so I was trying to think of different ways where I could maybe find a roommate or just figure out a situation where it wouldn't be as expensive. So I ended up going on the Grayslake Moms group on Facebook and joined the group, and I put out a little ad and said, hey, my name is Abby. I compete as a full-time athlete. I'm looking for a place to live in the area. Would anybody have a room I could rent? And in exchange for cheaper rent, I could nanny for your kids part-time around my training.
Clever. I like your angle.
Thought, like if I'm going to be staying at someone's house, I would love to be able to help out, and it can be just mutually beneficial.
Sure.
So I put that out there. I prayed over it. I had no clue if anything was going to come from it. And ended up getting a response from Jody Sinkmars. And she replied, and I think she originally replied with the intention of helping me find a home because she's in real estate.
Sure.
But we ended up talking, and I ended up driving out to Grayslake and ended up meeting her at her home. And she was like, you know what? Like, I don't have kids at the house right now. My kids are grown up, but I just got a puppy who needs someone to help take care of it. And I'm never home, so I don't have time to cook for myself. Would you want to meal prep for us and take care of our dog? And then you can stay with us.
No way.
And it was such a God thing. And I ended up saying, this is incredible. So I accepted, and I moved in with her a couple weeks later.
Did you really?
I did. And now I've been with Jody for almost 3.5 years. She's like a second mom to me. She's incredible.
Oh, I bet.
And we've just developed a really cool relationship, and I'm still living with her today. I'll be moving out, though, in March because I'm getting married.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is wonderful.
But
wow.
yeah, it's been such a blessing being able to live with her, not only because of just the situation, but just Jody's such an incredible person. So having the chance to grow that connection with her over the past 3.5 years has been amazing, and just get so close to her. We've had fun, like, girl days where we've gone shopping and gone out to eat, and then just like chill nights hanging out at the house watching movies. But she's awesome. She's become a friend, a mom figure, and just my reason for being able to keep pursuing my goals.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's inspiring too, just to see like that, just one little thing that changes everything, because you never know. It sounds like that was another point in your life where you're just completely unsure. Mm-hmm. And I tip my hat to you to put that out there, to say, that you need a place. But I think it's another good thing to teach people too. Like, if you need something, if you want something, it's okay to ask for it.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't typically do things like that.
You don't seem like that.
But I felt like I should, and I totally saw God work through that and bless that.
Yeah.
And his hand's been all over it, so I'm so grateful. But really, something else that's come out of it too is it's given me the heart to desire to do that for somebody else one day. Like, when I have the resources to be able to provide for someone else, like, I would love to bring someone into my home and help them achieve their goals. So it's come full circle.
Yeah, and I don't think people get that enough, that, a good deed or doing something or giving somebody a chance, or I like to call it like a hand up, right? Because you've made a friendship out of it, and also lessons that somewhere she probably somebody helped her like that, and then she pays it forward, and then you pay it forward later. I'd love to see how that goes. We were talking about Jody earlier, because every fundraiser that I've done, I always tell the story. So I decided to do this podcast. I was having breakfast by myself at Whitney Street, and I was like, what, I need to do a podcast, and I want to do one about Grayslake. So I was walking down to see a couple buddies and everything, and I ran into Jody on the sidewalk, and I told her what I was going to do, and she says, well, I'll sponsor the show.
Wow.
And I'm
not surprised.
I didn't ask her. It was like she was just out there. But she's the kind of person that everything that happens, like that we've done, especially if any kind of family in need or anything, she's always the first in line to help. And that's not downplaying anybody else that helps us out, but it's just like, it's unbelievable to see the kindness, especially that comes from this town. And I tip my hat to you, Jody, for being a leader of that and moving forward to help people.
Yeah, Jody is incredible. I mean, I've been living with her for 3.5 years, and she's
You
out
have
the
all the-
door by 6 a.m. and sometimes doesn't come home until 11. And then even after 11, she's on the phone, still making calls, writing contracts. Like, she loves what she does, and she loves helping people.
Yeah.
So she's working always.
She's definitely doing the right job, because she gets to give back and help people find that. I mean, obviously we all do a job to make money, but at the same time to have somebody that actually cares about that.
Yes.
And the people is a super big deal.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's few people I've met who genuinely care about giving back, instead of just doing it because...
What's in it for me kind of thing, too.
Exactly. But... when Jody took me in, there was nothing in it for her. She just wanted to help. I was a little 18-year-old kid, just graduated high school, and she's just genuinely kind and has a heart for serving people.
Yeah, I bet your parents must have been blown away and probably a little apprehensive at the same time. Like, you're doing what?
They were so nervous.
Who is this person?
My dad's friends with some cops. He did background checks on her and was like, we're not sending you to live with a stranger.
That is really too funny. Mm-hmm. So that's great that you guys get to be. So then you'll be, and once again, so getting married in March. Mm-hmm. How did you meet your fiance?
So he just got out of the Navy in February.
Okay.
We met while he was still active because he was stationed at Great Lakes. And him and his buddies ended up coming to the church I go to one day. And his buddies played wingman. And he ended up...
That's awesome.
Yeah, he ended up getting my phone number. And then he was with 2 other guys, and they asked what I was doing after that service and if I wanted to get coffee with them. Nice. And it's funny because there was another lady at my church who overheard, and she's like, Abby, you're not going to get coffee by yourself with 3 Navy boys. So she ended up coming with us, and it ended up being a lot of fun.
I bet it was.
So she came with us, and she was so sweet because she's a mom, she's married, but she was like just took on like the total big sister role. And she was like, nope, I'm coming with you, making sure you're safe.
That's funny, but hey, so you had your wingman then.
I did. I really
so
did.
So you had all of it. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so about halfway through or somewhere here, now you have to make your confession to everybody listening to. So how many episodes have you listened to of mine?
Ooh.
Starts with a Z and rhymes with Oreo. Mm-hmm. So as I pull this up, we do something kind of fun. We do some hot seat questions. So there's some rapid fire questions to get to know you just a little bit better.
Okay.
You down with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
You didn't tell me about this before we started.
No, well, of course not. That takes away all the fun.
The Grayslake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
Okay, so when you first meet somebody, how do they impress you?
I think by being authentic and eye contact.
Eye contact's a big thing. Try to teach the kids that all the time.
Yeah.
Stand up, shake their hand, eye contact all the time. Tell me something that's on your bucket list, like something you really want to achieve.
Ooh.
Not even achieve, or just to do something that you really want to do.
I really want a pet Highland cow one day.
Okay, what is a Highland cow? How come I don't know?
Highland cow, it's a cow, but it's the really fluffy cow.
Oh,
where it's
yes.
like it looks half dog, half cow.
Yes.
And they're really cute, and they look so cuddly. And I'm trying to convince Patrick to let us get one day.
I think that you should, because Jody's such an animal lover, too, maybe you should get one while you still live with her. I'm sure she would love to hear
maybe
you come
I'll just
Highland
surprise
cow.
her with one.
Her birthday's already passed.
In May.
Yeah, well, you still got till
Christmas.
May. Okay.
I can give her a Christmas cow.
Awesome. I'm sure she'd love that.
Mm-hmm.
So if your life so far, up until this point, was a story, what would the title of that story be?
Ooh.
These aren't easy, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's a good question. The first thing that came to my mind when you said that was one of my favorite Bible verses. It's Romans 5:3-5. It says, "For we glory in our sufferings, for we know that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope." It's a long title, but I feel like that verse has been the story of my life.
Awesome. Very cool. And the fact that you can rattle that off quick is very impressive as well. It's funny because one of the questions I am here that I rarely use is if you could win an Olympic gold medal in any sport, what would it be? We already know the answer to that. Right. What did you Google search last?
Probably something wedding related.
Nice. What's the last thing you bought on Amazon?
Probably something wedding related.
So you are in full wedding mode.
Yes.
Okay, so if you had a boat, you have to name a boat. What would the name of your boat be?
Ooh, I think Patrick would name it something. I don't know what I would name it, but he's very into boating and fishing.
So he would have an answer for that
yes.
question, for sure.
Yes.
Find out and text me and tell me.
I would want to name it something like super girly. I don't know. He'd have a much better answer.
If you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
As corny as it sounds, I think just genuinely making someone feel super loved and seen through some form of touch, like a hug, a handshake, whatever, but have that go through them.
Yeah. And then it can spread wildfire.
Yeah.
And then everybody help each other out. I love that. Do you have a celebrity crush?
I did until I met Patrick. Now it's just Patrick.
Patrick. You get big shout-outs. I hope that you said Patrick likes podcasts, so hopefully
He does
he'll be
like
listening to this
podcasts.
one.
He will listen.
Right, and I don't think she's just saying that just because.
I'm not.
The
I
look
got
on
a
her
big
face,
crush on him.
I can tell. Well, that's good. I'm glad that's the way it is before you're getting married. That's a very good thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, this one's a little bit deeper. Tell me about an experience that you had that turned out bad, or you thought it was really bad, but ended up being great or positive.
Ooh. It's a little bit of a longer story.
Sure. I got time.
Okay. Okay, when I was 14, I had just made my first international team, so I was an official member of Team USA, which meant that I was now in the drug testing pool. So USADA, that True Sport is partnered with, was in charge of all that, and they handle all of the drug testing for Team USA, Olympians, and Paralympians. So now that I was representing Team USA, I was part of that pool, so that meant I had to be extra careful with products I was taking, any supplements, any medications that were not approved. I had to get like certain documents for them, so just things like that. So at that time, I ended up, because I had just made my first team, I had a family friend who had just started up their own supplement company, and they asked if they could sponsor me.
Okay.
So I was really excited, and I said, this is amazing. This would be my first sponsorship opportunity. I was only 14, and I told them, I was like, well, I have to be super careful with the products I'm taking. And they assured me that their products were clean, that they had full control over the manufacturing process. And I said, okay. Ended up taking their products. It was a protein powder and a pre-workout. And about 2 weeks after I started using their products, I ended up being drug tested for the first time. USADA came to my house. It was out of nowhere because they just show up.
Right.
And they drug tested me. And when USADA drug tests you, it's different from like going to a doctor's office and getting a drug test. Like they watch you pee in the cup. Like they squat down with you and everything because they have to make sure it's your urine coming out of you and not somebody else's.
Sure.
So me being 14, I was like, this is so crazy.
Why are you watching me pee? Right.
I remember when I was peeing, it took me so long. I got so pee shy. And I had to sing the song Let It Go in my head over and over again to get it out.
Not the Frozen Let It Go.
The Frozen Let It Go.
Oh, okay. The visual is terrible here, by the way. With people standing around you. Like, okay, here we
Trying
go.
to make light of an unfortunate situation.
Okay, so
Anyway.
you finally pee, and you let
Finally
it go.
peed. I was drug tested, sent off the sample, and ended up competing about a month after the drug test. Had a great competition. I broke 2 American records. I think I ended up taking second overall in the age division that was above where I was actually at.
Nice.
So it was a good meet. The day after I got done competing, I got a call from USADA. They said I tested positive for a banned substance. And when I heard that, I was still 14. I was shocked. I was confused. I had no clue how this had happened. I was devastated. I was embarrassed. So overwhelmed with just the storm of emotions. But which the ultimate emotion I was feeling was just confusion. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Why did this happen? Is this true? Did they mess up? Did I mess up? Like, where did this come from? And we ended up finding out that the supplements I had been given from someone I trusted during the manufacturing process became contaminated.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was a whole just whirlwind of events. And it was really hard to go through.
Yeah.
And because that we were able to prove that it was not, like, intentional
Yes.
doping,
Right.
that it was total accident, and because at the end of the day, when I was drug tested, they only found, like, it was an extremely small amount. It was, like, 100 thousandths of a gram. Like, it was microscopic of what they found of the banned substance in me. So because of those two things combined, they kind of brushed it off. They gave me a really small sanction, which I think to this day is the shortest sanction they've ever given anyone in like the history of sport. So ended up having a 3-month ban from sport, which ended up ending right before my international meet.
Wonderful.
So it worked out in my favor in a way. But, I mean, at that time, I was like, I don't know how anything good can come from this. People are going to think that I'm a cheater. People aren't going to believe that it was an accident. How can this be used for good? It was just so much just going through my head, and still so much confusion. But USADA ended up reaching out to me after the sanction ended, and they said, we would love to film you sharing your story about what happened so you can help other young athletes and older athletes make sure that this doesn't happen to them with supplements, and you can advocate for supplement safety and clean sport. So they ended up filming this whole video series on me.
Really?
And that was, that video is still in the USADA, doping education, annual testing today. So every athlete that has to go through anti-doping education, they get to hear it.
Wow.
And then that was how True Sport ended up hearing about me, USADA's partner organization. And they said, okay, there's this young athlete who just went through something terrible, but they're now sharing their story and helping others with it. So we would love her to come advocate for clean sport for us, because clean sport is one of True Sport's values. So I got to talk about nutrition, clean sport, supplement safety to young athletes at these different sports camps and schools, and share my story and what happened. So really unfortunate, negative experience. It was a nightmare experience. Ended up becoming one of the biggest blessings in my life, because I get to talk about it now and help other people make sure that what happened to me doesn't happen to them.
That is awesome. And that truly is why that question is written, because that is but at the time you probably were devastated.
I was devastated, and I had no clue how any good could come out of it. But that's what God does. Nightmare experiences, he uses them for blessings and incredible opportunities. He turns our mess into a message. That's one of my favorite quotes.
That's fun. Keep moving forward, right? You never know. Mm-hmm. We talked about 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you? I mean, that's some really serious ones for you.
1 to 10.
She's laughing, so it has to be under a 6.
Depends on the time of day. Okay. Is it early in the morning, or have I had coffee yet?
So pre-coffee.
Pre-coffee? I think Patrick would say I'm not even on the chart. He would have to drive.
That's hilarious.
After coffee, probably a 4.
All right, I will stay. I'll wait till you leave today. I'll stay out of the parking lot. What is your favorite Grayslake event to attend?
Well, funny story with this one. I love the Grayslake days.
Yes.
Because when I first moved in with Jody, it was my first day living with her. And she said, hey, you want to come to this parade that I'm helping out with? And I said, okay, sure. So I ended up going with her, and I didn't realize that by her inviting me to the parade meant that I was now in the parade with her.
Sure. Yeah, you got to watch how she phrases stuff, yes.
So I went to this parade, thought we were just going to sit on the sidelines, but no, there was
Jumped
a whole
right in.
Float and T-shirts, and I was put right into the mix, throwing candy at people. Yep. So I think to this day, that's just a fun memory.
Yeah, and you know what? Okay, so being introduced to our town that way, because obviously I have a huge love for our community, I think the parades and being in them is such a cool thing to watch, how everybody comes up, drags their lawn chairs out, watching the whole community gather on one road to come down just to have fun and celebrate together. So
yeah, it was so wholesome, because where I grew up, it was a nice town, but it did not have the family feel that Grayslake does, and I was thrown right into it. So it was
literally right into the middle of everything.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's fun. I could see why that would be your favorite event, or terrifying at the same time. All right. When you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the right or the left?
Oh, that's a great question.
You didn't even do it. I thought you were
I think I tilt my head to the right.
Yeah. Next time you eat tacos, you'll think about that.
I will.
To your right. We should do a poll on how many people actually answer that. Favorite vacation you've ever been on?
Probably one of my competitions. I competed in Greece, and then
Awesome.
had a 17-hour layover in Paris on the way home. So I got like a 2-in-1 out of it. And that, not that it was a vacation, but it was just 2 really cool places to be and explore.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Wow, that's very, very cool. Tell me the last TV show that you binge watched.
Ooh, The Chosen.
All right.
That was what Patrick and I watched the other night. Yeah.
Highest score in bowling.
I don't like bowling.
I know, but what's your highest score?
Not good.
But as long as it's higher than your driving score that you gave yourself, it'll be fine.
I don't even know how bowling works. Is it better to have a high score or a low score?
All right, we'll move on from that before we get any further.
It's been a long time since I've been bowling.
It's all perception. High could be good and low could be really good too. Go-to karaoke song, if you have to do it. Somebody says you have to sing right now. Besides Let It Go, what would it be?
Oh, man, this is... probably Baby Got Back.
That's my song.
Seriously?
Yeah, we'll have to duet it sometime.
Let's do it.
That's awesome. I have a couple different versions we'll discuss off air. Tell me about, because I know that you've won awards, trophies, accolades, things like that. Which one is the most meaningful to you? Do you have one that's the most meaningful?
There was a competition I went to when I was, I think, 15. And the 2 competitions prior to that I ended up bombing out at, which bombing out means in weightlifting, when you compete, you have 3 snatches and 3 clean and jerks that you do.
Okay.
And if you miss all 3 of one lift, then it's considered a bomb out because you can't get a total. So the 2 competitions prior, I bombed out in my clean and jerks. I missed all 3. So I didn't total, didn't medal or anything. So I was coming off of 2 pretty big fails. And at that competition, the first clean and jerk I hit, it was like the biggest relief because I knew, like, even though it wasn't a PR lift or anything, like I totaled. So it wasn't a lift that got me a medal or anything, but it was a big, like, mental hurdle.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just especially in adversity and coming back from those times.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Pool or ocean?
Ocean.
Here's a fun one. How many times do you exercise per week?
Too many.
Too many. Yes. Favorite candy to follow that one?
Dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's.
All right. You were not specific at all on that. Tell me about the second time you got arrested.
The second? So there wasn't even a first.
Okay, good. I like to throw that one out there and just see where people go with it.
Has anybody ever been like...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, a very recent episode, somebody's giggling right now listening, going, you're not supposed to answer that. But yeah. What's your biggest fear?
Failing. Ironically, because I've failed so many times. Yeah, that's the constant hurdle that I need to overcome.
Right. Favorite season of the year?
I love summer. I love warm. I love tanning.
Yeah. Do you have a nickname?
Some people call me Ab or Abs.
Okay.
But
I was going to say
whatever.
there had
Nothing
to be something.
crazy.
Nothing crazy in there. Tell me about a celebrity that you've met.
I did get to meet Tim Tebow at an event one time, which is pretty cool.
He's awesome.
I love Tim Tebow. He's someone I really look up to for both his athletic accomplishments, but also just his boldness in sharing his faith.
Yes, and he's very good at it. His delivery and his message are both
amazing.
Both really amazing.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomennlc.com or give them a call, 847 984-0103. Now back to the show.
Tell me about, since it is a Grayslake show, like with you moving here and lived other places and you've got to do a lot of traveling and everything, tell me about some of your favorite things about our town.
I love that there actually is a downtown street. Where I grew up, I didn't really have any type of downtown. Like, the downtown was considered the Starbucks.
Right.
And just how I love coffee, and that there are Starbucks here, but there's also so many local coffee shops that aren't chain. I think that was something I was so surprised about, with just the whole, like, Lake County area. There's so many, like, little mom and pop coffee shops, which I love.
Yeah, and usually a lot better coffee, too.
Yes, it really is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And we always preach, obviously, that shop local and do everything, but it's so fun to even to go by something's brewing and just see everybody outside in the morning, just sitting outside.
I love it.
It's a different kind of feel than a lot of different towns. That is for sure.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
So when you get married now, and where's he from?
He's from Vermont.
He's from Vermont.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you guys going to live? What are you gonna do?
Grayslake.
Are you really?
Yeah, so
Good.
he recently, after he got out of the Navy, he ended up, a family from church housed him for a few months, but he just got an apartment in Grayslake. So
cool.
I'll move in with him after we get married.
Wow. Are you going to still go let the dog out at Jody's?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm so attached to that dog now. I can't leave the dog.
That's awesome. See, I love things, but one of my favorite things about the show is, like, learning how people from all different walks of life, all from everywhere across the world, and, like, how they end up in Grayslake is always one of my, because we get to talk a lot about, like, really old stuff here, but also, the new things. And it's very impressive, too, when I hear people, like, what they like about our town or why it's so inviting.
Yeah.
And it's a little gem, right?
It really is.
It is.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so tell me about this as we wrap up. What does the future hold for you? Next big competition, like, what are you really getting after right now?
Okay, next big competition, probably next year's nationals.
Okay.
That's what we're training for right now. Right now I'm in, like, just a building season with training, where pretty much until next summer there isn't any competition I'm, like, aiming for. It's just get as strong as possible.
Wow. Okay, so with doing that, your diet and exercise programs must be insane, right? So I'm sure you eat a lot of protein. You have to, like,
do try to eat a lot of protein, but I probably could be focusing on my diet a little bit more than what I am right now, because I don't need to cut weight at the moment. So right now it's like I'm eating until I'm full.
Right.
And
you're burning enough calories, obviously.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But once I get closer to competitions, and if I do need to cut weight, then I really dial in on following my macros and drinking the right amount of water, things like that, so that my body is prepared to lose the weight without losing muscle. But right now, it's just build and eat.
Right. Okay, so with all the stuff you're doing right now, we'll end with this because of our time, and I know we have to go. I always ask, like, people, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, now that you're, like, weightlifter, you're doing all these things. I see you as kind of a service gal, that you like to help people. Like, what do you, when weightlifting is done, when everything career-wise after that, what do you imagine yourself doing?
I really just want to be a mom.
All right.
Yeah.
The biggest service job that's out there to help people.
Yeah, I feel like ever since I was a kid, like, I want to go to the Olympics and I want to be a mom. Like, those are the two things that have been on my heart.
Two things that are a miracle. Childbirth and making the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, I wish you the best of luck in all that. And I thank you for what you do, especially for the kids and all that. And it's fun to see people's journeys and how everybody gets a different place a different way, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very inspiring. So thank you for taking the time with me.
Thank you for having me.
Anything you want to tell Grayslake before we sign off?
Jesus loves you.
All right. Grayslake, thank you guys so much for listening. No matter where you're at, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, YouTube, wherever the heck you are, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because that way every Tuesday you get to meet another member of our community, which I think is awesome and really, really brings us together. And as we were talking about before, as we always sign off, never know what people are going through, whether it's kids, whether it's adults. Be kind, whether it's holding the door, and never walk down the sidewalk and not smile at the person walking across. You never know, that can make their day. Just little things. You guys know what I'm talking about. So 2 random acts of kindness today is your challenge. Thank you, Grayslake, for listening. Ab, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
And Grayslake, we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.